Welcome back to part 2 of my discussion with a few of my closest friends, Sandy, Tia, Satoya, Christy, Mickey, and my daughter China, as we get vulnerable about vulnerability.
We grow up with the ideology of being safe. If your kids are playing in the street, come out of the street, that's unsafe. So, how is it that we grow up learning safety, but then we're supposed to expose ourselves once we become an adult?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how to, where to place that,
Yeah.
Well, especially if your vulnerability is compromised at such a young age.
Yeah.
There goes your little girl heart and the walls and the, I won't allow that to happen again. And then you can just continue in that cycle of one little thing, just, oh, there it is, that damage that happened. And
yeah, it's so experiential, because what may be completely safe for me would feel anything but safe for you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I was thinking, I said honest living, and as you guys have been talking, I've been thinking about how I could almost, there was a time, like you, that I would have just said vulnerability is honesty or authenticity. But I almost feel like I could actually cross off the honest and just say vulnerability, it's living, it's life. I mean, everything that you guys wrote is just life. Yeah. It's all these things. And for me, I feel more alive since I've become more vulnerable. Cautiously. I mean, I don't just throw that to the wind. And like Mickey said, everybody doesn't have that space in my life where I'm going to be completely open with them, because I do want to be safe, and that's good. I mean, that's I think that's a discernment that we naturally have of, how much risk am I willing to take? But it feels more alive to me. It feels more, okay, this is really living. To have those relationships and to be willing to take those risks feels more like living.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. So I want to kind of split off from there and explore 2 different things. When we think about vulnerability as defined as susceptibility to injury or attack, being capable of being physically or emotionally wounded, that changes everything a little bit, doesn't it? But the first 2 definitions I looked up, there they were back to back. The first one was the state of being vulnerable, and I had a great biology teacher that said you never define a word that you're defining within the definition. So I was like, that doesn't work. So I looked up the first 2 things, and I was like, whoa, okay, there's more to this vulnerability thing, because when I hear that, I hear both of them saying, I am willing to be honest and open, and with that, I'm willing to take your bullet of what might come back at me. So I'm laying in bed thinking about the best way to be vulnerable with my sisters, and I'm like, I spent hours cleaning this house yesterday, and making sure everything's good. I even mopped the floors, and I was like, as long as they don't go in the bathroom. Because the bathroom is really the embarrassing part. So I was like, okay, so honesty is telling you my bathroom is dirty. Vulnerability is taking you into my bathroom. Because what is attached to that is they'll know I don't have it all together. Yeah. They'll see that I fail as a really good housekeeper. And I want them to see the clean parts of my life. So let's not go, just take me at my word that my bathroom is dirty. But, how freeing might it be to have you all just go in and look at my bathroom and go, do you still love me? Does this change the way? So I think that truth may play a bigger role in this than we give credit to. I mean, yes, no, true, false.
I mean, aren't we all? It's already there. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we're imperfect, or I'm thinking vulnerability in the context of forming a relationship or a friendship, like, it's already there that you care about the person. So, or it's already there that your bathroom's dirty, or that you only worked out once this week, or whatever. But vulnerability is just admitting it. Like, it's just saying, yeah, I that's really true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can become your friend and then act like I don't care about you, but then I'm not really your friend. So if we're friends, me just admitting that I care about you is just revealing what's already there.
Yeah.
It's just living with that on the surface instead of pushing it down.
Yes. So to go back to what Sandy said, knowing that we're human beings, so it's hard to love without expecting love in return. But when you're open and willing to know that it should end right there, but our human and our emotional beings are like, no, please give me that love back, and please don't hit me with the truth of what I don't want to hear back. Because I often find that people would rather be heard than to hear the truth. You know, there's a huge difference, and so I think that's why I'm wondering if truth is just, we don't give as much credit to this as we think, and and just that initial word of vulnerable. Oh, I'm being honest and open.
Well, we want to be able to love people, right? Like, I want to be able to go, I accept you for your flaws. Like, I can accept that you have a dirty bathroom, but for me to admit that I have a dirty bathroom, that's vulnerable for me to say I have a dirty bathroom. I don't want to admit that, right? But that's part of it.
It almost seems like just kind of the way the way that the examples that we're using in terms of like being vulnerable and truth, like it almost seems like vulnerability is a way to measure truth in some ways, because like, yeah, you can say your bathroom's dirty and that's truthful, but if we don't see it, then we don't know how dirty it is, Right. So it almost like, or like, I'm vulnerable in telling you that I love you, but I'm being truthful in telling you that I love you, but it would be more vulnerable for me to really have to pour out my heart and tell you how much. Like it seems like it almost measures the truth in a lot of ways.
Or, yeah, I have a dirty bathroom, but what does that say about me?
Yes.
So for me to come to you and just matter-of-factly, just so you know, if we're going to be friends, you need to know I have a dirty bathroom.
Yeah.
But to actually say what my telling you that does to me, what that stirs up in me, how that makes me feel to open up to you and tell you that, what I think you may think of me for telling you that.
Right.
What I think that says about me.
Yes.
Why is this risky to me?
Yeah.
That's what makes it vulnerability. That's what makes it go a step, in my opinion, that's what makes it go a step beyond honesty, beyond truth, to the vulnerable. Yeah. Because it's deeper than what, it's like that, you hear people talk about that iceberg and you only see like such a small portion of it above the surface and everything that's down below. And it's revealing everything that's down below. In my opinion, is what is the vulnerable part of that.
Dirty bathroom is the tip of the iceberg, exactly. Which you'll see all my flaws, see that I can't keep it together.
Yes, because really, if I'm going to be vulnerable, I'm going to go way beyond the dirty bathroom. I'm going to...
Or maybe it's that or maybe it could even be like, it brings up something that you feel about yourself, even though that person could, sometimes it could just be the worst thing that like, oh, well, she's dirty, whatever. But for you, that might be like, I'm dirty, that means that I'm unkept, that means that I'm undisciplined, that means that I'm like, so like, it might not even be what the other person is thinking always. It might even be insecurities that you already have about yourself that you're confronted with.
Yeah. Those masks that we wear.
Because they're the things that we know about that nobody else knows about.
Because now you're scratching the shine away. It's like you have something so pretty, and I think friendship, to me, seems to start off this shiny, pretty thing. And then as soon as you start to risk, As soon as you start to open up, as soon as you start to share and be vulnerable, when you start to risk those things that aren't so pretty, you're like taking some of the shine off of things. And so now it's like, well, what? I think that's a huge risk for me. I totally agree and see where you're coming from. Like, okay, well, is she still gonna love me once I start to scratch that shine away? Is she still gonna love me? Because to me, that conjures up those feelings of, am I worthy now to receive the same amount of love and friendship and vulnerability and risk from you as I would if I would have just kept everything shiny and tidy and neat? And I don't want to show those cracks.
Tune in next time as we continue our discussion on vulnerability, on women, body, mind, soul, and spirit.